Cool. Well, good morning, everybody, to another Cute for Teams, Champions Using Teams Effectively. I am Ricardo. We have Stacy as well, joining us remotely. And we have you. And just from glancing at the list, there might be one or two new folks. So just say welcome if you are new, or if you're online viewing this for the first time, welcome. And we just come here to talk about teams. Stacy and I try to answer questions, but in general, it's really I consider us all a bunch of teams geeks, teams champions that like to talk about best practices and tips and tricks for teams. So if you've come here with a question, feel free to start putting it in chat or come off mute. It's been 2 weeks, I think, since maybe 3, since we last talked. So I'm assuming you guys are just brimming over with questions. So happy to take those. I do want to say we are going to switch the format a little in that we are going to go to a bi-weekly, every other week cadence starting today. And if you're joining from the webpage via aka.ms/Q4Teams, it'll be obvious, we'll put the dates and info on that page. But if you're kind of joining from a bookmark link or something, then just keep that in mind every other week now. So yeah, keep that in mind. I think that was my main announcement that I want to make. Yeah. So good. Glad to, I saw a couple thumbs up there. So good to go. With that said, again, I'll open it up to any questions you may have in chat or come off mute. So I did see a question about whiteboard and channel meetings. Is that a question in terms whiteboard and channel? So are we saying that it's not? You're asking if it's there?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, hi Ricardo, it's Glenn. We did some testing and found that at least for us, whiteboard is only available in a scheduled calendared meeting. It's not available in a chat or a call. But then we couldn't find how to launch it in a channel meeting. So does that channel meeting have to be a scheduled calendar meeting? It can't be a chat, or I was just unable to get whiteboard working in a channel meeting anyway, any which way. So
right. I don't know that I've ever necessarily tried that. Let's see. And if anybody,
yeah, I'm glad you're pulling it up, because to me it seems like it functioned at some point. So I'm curious if there's been a change. So let's see what the behavior is when you pull it up to test.
Oh, so actually it's a share actually, and then whiteboard. So I did a meet now in a channel. Yep. So meeting in general. So there's the button at least, and it's firing up for me. So that was meet now from a channel. That was a non-scheduled meeting. So I don't know, Glenn, is this what you tried on your end and it didn't work?
yeah, when I clicked share screen, I did not see the whiteboard button to launch it.
Okay.
Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but see that, yeah, exactly where your cursor is pointing.
Right.
That's not on my screen.
Okay.
In a channel meeting.
But it is in scheduled meetings. It's
yes.
right there. Huh.
Yeah,
I would think it'd be either all or nothing. So that's interesting.
Is it a private channel?
Oh.
I'm not sure. And the other question is, do you have any information in the future? Will that whiteboard button be available in a call or a chat?
So let me just check real quick the private channel theory here. So I've still got it in the private channel too, so it's not that. And you're asking, will it be in you're saying like a call to like an individual?
Yeah, or a chat when people are just instantly contacting each other without having a scheduled calendared meeting. There's no whiteboard button.
See. I guess he would have to pick up for me to try this.
See, and I thought you could add it as an app in a chat.
That's
When
what I
we
thought too,
click the,
because it's OneNote. I mean, OneDrive based. I would have thought that. Again,
when we
I've not
click
tried. Yeah.
when we click the plus to add app, whiteboard is not one of the apps available.
See if I can get Nestor going here and get him to pick up the phone. And
we actually went through this last week in our organization. There was a change, and I posted the message in our post in the chat. You do have to actually add the app in your app policy to see that, other than the actual scheduled meetings.
okay. Well, there you go.
Do you add it from Office Online, or when we click the plus to add
Yes,
apps?
Teams Admin Center.
Okay.
And so, Glenn, if you've never seen that, that would be, the admin going to the actual like portal.office.com and going to an admin center area. So an admin would have to do some stuff for you. So I think that's probably explaining what you're seeing, sounds like. So there is the whole Teams admin area here where policies and whatnot are managed.
Okay. Well, thank you, Rebecca, and thank you, Ricardo.
Yeah.
So we should get with our administrator on this, the guy who operates the switches in the background.
Right. The man behind the person behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And letting them give them the link that Rebecca shared. That'd probably be useful.
Thank you.
Cool. Jumping up through the chat forms. When putting a link in the description, is there a way to format it so you can change the automatic color? I haven't seen a lot of too many formatting options for that forms area. I think I know what you're talking about. So a new form, and then I think this area here, right? So yeah, I don't see too many options. If sometimes apps will put little options for even HTML edits or something, which will work here for what you're trying to do. But or what I think would be the easiest way to do what you're trying to do with changing the color on a hyperlink. But I don't see them offering that. Too much there.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
You can change, like once you start typing in there, you can change the formatting. If you highlight a certain area of text, a little like pop-up will come up there. But when it's a link, it looks like you've changed the color, and then it doesn't work when you go to preview the actual form. And the reason we're having the problem is we have an area that is creating a form, and they put links in, and they're trying to use like a light gray theme, because they've used a hex number theme.
Right.
And that light gray, because there's color there, I guess it changes the text color to white, which can't be seen with the gray very well. So they switched all of the text to black, but it does not affect the link.
Yeah. Yeah, just from if I'm kind of assuming some basic HTML is happening behind the scenes, yeah, I know from my web design days that it's likely the hyperlink color would override the text color. So I could kind of see that, but it kind of depends on how they design this. So yeah, to your point, this looks like what you've got in terms of formatting options, but may not play nice with the hyperlink. And so, and I don't see any other options here. Like, again, what I would love to see is just some kind of markup or markdown or HTML button here to get fancy there, but doesn't look like it. I don't know if maybe highlighting the link with a color might. No, there's no highlight. Oh, I thought there was a highlight. Thought that might help. So yeah, I don't think we got a solution for that one. Let's see here. Whiteboard. Meeting recordings and transcripts live in OneDrive and SharePoint Online. We see the MP4 after the meeting, but not the transcript. What does that look like? Is it a doc file? Is it next to the MP4? Is it hidden?
So just to so we're working with our customer success manager on this, but they said, oh, well, you should see it. And I just wanted to know, I mean, I don't want to peek in your OneDrive file, but I kind of do. I mean, what does it look like? Are there like two files with the same name next to each other? I just want to see what it looks like so I can have an educated conversation with them.
We can peek at anything here because this is all demo content.
But, okay, good. I just want to know what it looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just saw Fluid Loop too. So
right. So I know the recordings go there.
So you don't have transcription showing up in your recording. So they told us it should be in recordings, and there was a hidden file.
Yeah.
But I'm not seeing a transcript here either.
Where I'm used to seeing it is in, like in this interface. Let's see, where can I go to?
Because I see in the chat and I see it in the meeting contents after the meeting. But I'm just wondering, where does that file live? And they're saying, channel meetings is SharePoint, regular meetings or OneDrive, but I just haven't seen where that lives and what it looks like.
Yeah. So at least for right here, it lives somewhere mysterious, but it's letting us download it wherever we want.
This is what we see too. So that was
right.
Okay.
So then we open it. It's opening here. See, I wonder if it's not a document at this point. You download as a document, but I wonder. Oftentimes I will see, there's a big Exchange tie-in with Teams, and sometimes some of the chat stuff lives really in a back-end Exchange, not an end user accessible area.
Exactly, and that's where it used to live, and they're saying that it now lives in OneDrive, but I'm not seeing it and you're not seeing it, so maybe there's a disconnect. So thank you for looking, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because is that an MP4? Your recordings that's just the MP4, right?
Right. Okay. So if it's there, I don't know where.
It's supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay. If you find out something about that, let us know. Right. Reported issues with camera feeds in Teams and getting a weird blue-gray screen when working with files inside of Teams. Camera feeds and a blue-gray screen when working with files. I have not heard that one.
Sorry, I put those together, but it's two separate issues. I think I didn't know if you had heard any updates. The Teams camera feeds, I guess, is for people using Surface 4s. Like the camera, your camera feed just goes in and out, or it freezes. You have to turn off your camera, turn it back on for it to work. I had that problem as early as yesterday.
This is consistent for all of your Surface 4s?
I don't know that I don't think it's everyone that has a Surface 4 is having issues, but I think that they've narrowed it down to only the people having issues have Surface 4s. And I think Microsoft released something stating that they were having an issue or whatever, but I was
as much as I like Surface, hopefully this is a Surface issue, not a Teams issue.
Right. But so the other thing we're seeing is completely separate is people that are working in files inside of Teams. They'll have this blue screen pop up or this gray screen pop up that basically hinders their ability to work on the document. And usually they've got to close out of Teams and go back in for it to go away. We found something from Microsoft also that is a known issue from a few months ago, but they weren't able to recreate it. So, and we seem to be having the issues now. I haven't seen it myself, and when they try to get a screenshot of it, it doesn't come through the screenshot, which is weird.
Yeah. And for those people, is it every time they can't do any files, or is it just every now and then?
It's just every now and then. And
Okay.
what we've seen is one person said she was just uploading a document, a PDF document to a file area in Teams, and then other people have said it's when they were working on files inside of Teams. So I mean, the workaround was to open it in the desktop client, but
Mhm.
if you have those people that are ingrained and working directly in Teams, trying to get them to go backwards is
Yeah.
not fun.
And I see April suggesting the sign out, sign in, which I'm sure you've already tried.
Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah.
We've done that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, if it's intermittent, and just certain people, I mean, at least that's telling me it's not a, problem across the board, but still sucks for those folks. Not that I know this to be true, but well, no, I'll leave that alone. I don't want to speculate that hard. So let's see here. Okay. And to add to what Amanda's mentioned, people seem to be having issues with audio cutting in and out when connecting with wireless headsets. Okay. Again, I'm hoping that's the headset and not Teams, but I'm guessing, Rowan, is there different people with different types of headsets?
Yeah, different headsets, but also all have Surface 4s also. So wondering if it might be that as well.
Wow. So now that's getting interesting now, that this Surface 4 issue. Interesting. Many of you probably, just FYI, obviously many of you in your orgs have support contracts, obviously putting in a ticket for those devices. And then many of you probably have Surface CSM and as well assigned to you. So if this is a Surface specific, you got a couple ways to tackle it. Problem with tablets from Glenn. I'm guessing this is non-Surface tablets.
Well, we have,
Can you hear me okay?
Hear you, Stacy. Yep.
I was just gonna mention the call quality dashboard. It's very IT admin focused, but it's still an important tool for helping to diagnose these things, and whether or not the issue is related to the hardware or the Bluetooth connection or a Teams issue. So the call quality dashboard is something that can be implemented at the tenant and can help monitor calls where issues are being held or issues are being seen and help determine the root cause.
Very, very good call out. And for most of you, I mean, if you're non-admins, you might not have seen this or know about it, unless maybe your IT folks have talked about it. Often, when calls, the approach when there's an issue with a call is for the end user to, give a ticket or something to your IT who has access to this dashboard with the meeting ID of the call having an issue. They should be able to come in here and start to see some data Stacy was mentioning about, what's going on the back end of the call. In fact, even the one I'm looking at here, I think is a little different than there's a more robust one that I think takes a separate setup that I wouldn't be able to demo here. But yes, the admins have a lot of granular information about call quality, and it often can help troubleshoot some of the issues we've just been talking about, even device specific. Where did I go? Oops. Yeah. So yeah, if you haven't heard of the call quality dashboard, it's worth knowing or worth worth telling your admins about if they don't already know. Yeah, cool. Let's see what else we got here. Webinar downloadable Excel registration report is formatting issues when adding custom questions. Oh, okay. I've tried any custom questions there. Where's my team? Okay. And I don't think I have a webinar ready to go either, but it's interesting. I don't know if anybody on the line has had any issues with that, custom questions in your webinars that don't come through well on the Excel. It's unfortunate. Here. Don't think I missed anything else in the chat. All right. Okay. I was going to there's a lot of things that hit preview lately. Of course, I have to jump over to commercial to kind of show that, but one that you may have been hearing about, well, a couple. The avatars piece, just kind of showing you what this looks like once it would come to you, which is not, I'm not saying it's anytime soon, it's just now going into preview, but it's a button there with it's an app on the left rail with a builder for customizing it. In this environment, I haven't done much to customize this one. In my real teams, I think I showed that little demo a couple weeks ago. So you got some options here. If you're looking to use some Google Play bucks to buy new outfits that we're not there yet, so you're stuck with whatever's there. But so that's there again in preview and commercial. And then you may notice this try the new teams button. So that is in preview, basically a preview of what to expect for the next version of Teams, kind of built, new from scratch. There are certainly a lot of things still not in this. Again, that's why it's in preview. So, if you are trying it out in some form or fashion, don't expect to see necessarily everything. But what I did want to point out was at least, one of the biggest UI changes is the channel or chat messages being read and from top to bottom now. So if you can kind of notice here, my start a new post is not down at the bottom, it's up at the top. Little formatting changes here as well. And then we're reading things from top to bottom instead of bottom to top. What I'm trying to see if I can make happen here too is just this idea there. You'll notice a lot more opportunity for things to pop out, which is pretty useful. I can't on the top of my head think of a way to kind of show that quickly, but let me see, can I do no? But for instance, when a pop-up notification happens here, many of those pop-ups will pop up in their own window. You may or may not like that. What I think it does, at least for me, and I think its intent is to try to keep you from context switching too much. So instead of you clicking on a pop-up going all the way back to full Teams, you're opening up that conversation, even if it's a channel conversation, in its own window. To me, it's much less distracting, very convenient to have, this conversation that I'm just trying to read in a window instead of full-blown Teams in case I happen to be in Outlook or some other place. So that's just one of many some different things going on in the new Teams. So more to come on this, but again, it's just in preview at the moment. Trying to think if there's other new preview stuff. Those are the two I can think of. And then one other a little announcement that I heard has gone on the roadmap, and Stacy's there in case I butcher this, but I believe I saw that notifications for planner items is coming to GCC after a long wait. So there may be many of you on right now that are, if you had your avatar, you'd be making it do the, up the hands up in the air kind of thing, probably. Oh, some people have it already. Wait, is that the note?
I do not, but people have been screen capping it. There's a lot of settings, so we're very excited about it.
Okay.
But I don't have it, but a friend of mine does.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. Awesome. So yeah, good things are coming. I did notice, so personal tasks are still, you've got your planner tasks in GCC. In commercial, there's this integration of your personal tasks as well. So that's still not in GCC. Thus, the only reason I bring that up is because My Day was added to this view. But given that they're not in GCC, you won't see the My Day or the task button there. But for commercial, this could be useful for folks who are using To Do. So just a couple things I thought worth mentioning. All right. We got a couple minutes left. Got any other questions or comments or thoughts? A lot of announcements happening lately, especially since we all last met. Other thoughts from anyone? I was telling Stacy I knew there'd be plenty of questions because it's been so long since we last got together.
So what you just showed, the Task by Planner and To Do, is that available in GCC in our government cloud?
What's there is just the planner tab.
Okay.
Which looks the same, except you'll notice the absence of tasks and that My Day, which is new. So tasks would be personal tasks versus, these are tasks, but they're assigned to you because of a planner assignment.
Okay, great, thanks.
Then I see you typing something. I don't know if you want to off mute or. And then I see, okay, polls. Is there a central location for polls? Central location for polls. That is a good question. So it is.
They're in forms, actually. If you go to office.com and go to forms and scroll down and view all, like there's polls and surveys, it's all there. And there is a maximum, which I hit. So you have to start deleting them, and that's where you delete them too.
Yeah.
Yes. If you go to office.com and go to forms. And you have to delete them one at a time too.
Oh, wow.
I think it's a 400 maximum is what I hit. So then if you scroll down and then see all my forms.
Yeah.
And then you'll see like it's got like a little bar chart. So that's your polls, the little bar charts that you have. So those are your polls. And then they look different from your survey. So that's where you go to find your poll.
Yeah.
And then your surveys look different.
And this, let's see. Okay. The only thing I'm thinking though, isn't there a non-form based, well, maybe not in GCC. I thought there was a non-form based meeting poll now.
There's polls and then there's forms, but they're like the same thing and they do the same thing. And forms is going away in September, but polls is.
Okay. That's an interesting question there. So I'm going to look into that. But yeah, so I guess there's a short answer there for you in terms of the hit up forms to see your polls and be wary of the limit if you got a lot of them going on. Thank you. All right. Well, it's good times, good times. Again, we actually, let me try something here. I'm actually just looking at the polls in this actual meeting. That'll be something I'll try out later. But yeah, thank everybody for joining us. Again, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. And yeah, until then, obviously, I think some of you are Stacy's customers, but again, your Modern Work CSMs, your account team in general can help answer questions along the way as well. So reach out to them. And we'll see you in a little bit. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and check out the blog for more content.